Good morning, good afternoon, or good night, my fellow Chibits. Today, I'm here to bring all of you another chapter review of Happiness Chapter 9. It really feels like it was just yesterday I sat down and reviewed the latest chapter, like Chapter 8 of Happiness. And so, either time is going by fast, or these chapters are coming out quite quick. Whatever the case may be, I'm liking the progression. Once again, I gotta say, I'm loving where the mangaka is taking the story. Like, the way this is building up, with the setup, with the characters, with, you know, the tension going on with our main male character, Okazaki. There's some good stuff going on here, especially with this chapter. So, we have, I think, 30 to 28 pages this week. I think that's how many pages we have in this chapter of Happiness. And I know there is some Chibits, I have seen it in recent comments, like I made with my recent reviews. I've seen to where some Chibits say, like, this, you know, series should probably have a lot more pages because it feels like there's barely anything going on. I have seen this quite a bit. I've seen so many of you Chibits mention this, and personally, I can agree and disagree, because usually this series ends on a cliffhanger, and you're like, fuck. And that's kind of how it has been for these past 9 chapters, because that's what we got. We got another cliffhanger with that vampire boy popping up outside the window and Okazaki and meeting up with him. So that vampire boy is going to be a lot more important to the story than what I was led to believe from, you know, last chapter. So this gets into the next point. The main point of the chapter is showing that shit has happened. For instance, we have it to where the delinquent boys that got into trouble and was beating the shit out of Okazaki, and you know what happened with the vampire, they have ended up disappearing. Like, they're gone, and Okazaki is in the hospital, and it seems like he's having withdrawals, for instance, because he hasn't had any blood, or he has had blood recently, but he's having withdrawals because he hasn't had any, like, in the past day or two. And you could see that affecting him because of the way his face looks, the way he looks, it looks like he's drained of life, and, I mean, the way it was shown in the chapter, this is once again going to be a huge part of his character development, maybe next month when we get the next chapter, because with that vampire boy popping around now, what this means is that Okazaki is now entering into this world with these vampires. He's probably going to be taught how to hunt for himself or how to get his own food, and it's going to be a very difficult position to be in, because, I mean, if you're a human and you were thrown into this, you know, new world to where you have to start eating humans, for instance, you know, drinking their blood, it would be a difficult situation to deal with, and that's kind of what Okazaki is in right now. He has to try to figure out how he's going to deal with this, because now he's not really a human anymore, and how can he really fit in after he just drunk his friend's blood? So it is implied, actually, in this chapter that he killed his friend. Like, he killed his friend, or his friend probably turned. That's what is implied with the chapter, because Okazaki says, like, I'll get him back, he's out there or something. So it might be that, you know, Okazaki's friend, I think his name was Yuki, he is still out there and alive, but he is turned. Like, he's no longer a human, he is a vampire, or he's on the verge of becoming a vampire, whatever the case may be. And then you also have it to where Okazaki, he feasted on his blood. So, yeah, there's a really difficult situation going on here, which is building up, and we're probably going to get to see this explode with emotions very soon, because if you remember the Flowers of Evil, when it got to that breaking point to where the characters were being fueled by so much emotions, and then they broke, you remember how that was in that manga series. I feel like that's exactly what's going on with this, because if you see how the characters are building up, with how, you know, the two girls, the main female characters, are interacting, and how they went to Okazaki, they're trying to find, you know, Yuki, and then also how that vampire boy pops up. It seems like the vampire boy is going to be kind of used as the bad influence for Okazaki, and it's going to turn it to where he might have conflicting emotions with, you know, his human side and his vampire side, and he might have a difficult way of living his normal life. So it's going to be cool to see where he goes as a character, and I cannot wait to see how it goes down. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. How do you feel about the artwork? The artwork looked pretty damn nice. I mean, it's not the best ever, but I still love the art style of this mangaka. A really unique art style that stands out to me when I read this series. So yeah, I love you all so much. You have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe, and see you next month. Chibi out.